وزدنا علما برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. I would like to welcome everybody who joined us this evening with another lesson on the meaning of the Quran. And today, inshallah, we'll start with a new surah, Surat Qaff, which is surah number 50 in the Holy Quran. A few things about the surah before we start the meaning of it, which is here Allah Azza wa Jal obviously divided the Quran into chapters and into hizbs and into surahs and into ayahs, and they're saying here this is the first of the hizb. And also it's narrated that Umar ibn Khattab asked Abu Waqid al-Laythi what was the Prophet ﷺ reading in Eid, and he said to him he used to read Surat Qaff and Surat اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. Another narration that he was reading also Surat Al-A'la سبح اسم ربك الأعلى وسورة الغاشية. And أم هشام بنت حارثة قالت لقد كانت تنورنا وتنور النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم واحدا سنتين. That our oven nowadays, our oven and the oven of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم was the same one for 2 years or a year and some of the year. And I didn't take Qaff but from the Prophet ﷺ directly. She means that she listened to him reading it, she learned it from him ﷺ, and he used to read it, she said, on Friday on the minbar when he gives the khutbah to the people on Friday. And Rasulullah ﷺ used to read this surah when there is a large gathering like Eid, Said, and Fridays, because it contains talking about the beginning of the creation, about the resurrection and assembly, the day of judgment, and the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal, and the accountability, and talk about hell and paradise, and the reward and punishment, and encouraging people to believe and behave. So the Salaf also said that the meaning of Qaff could be a mountain, a large mountain surrounding a large part of the land. It's called the mountain of Qaff. And Ibn Abbas said it's one of the names of Allah Azza wa Jal, and some said it's the name of one of the names of the Quran. That's what Qatada said, but obviously we still have no fixed meaning to the huruf al-muqatta, the odd letters started in many surahs and read silently. Qaf, Alif Lam Mim Noon, Alif Lam Mim Ra, Alif Lam Sad, Qaf, Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad. They all read silently as if they are the Quran by itself. Because when you read the Quran, you don't stop from the beginning to the end of the Quran. Obviously you don't stop unless there is obligatory to stop in certain areas, which is signed in the Quran. What's the surah of Qaf telling us about, which is really nice to know, so you could understand what's all in the surah. And the surah starts by Allah Azza wa Jal making an oath by Qaf. And this is why they say it could be the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, could be meaning the name of the Quran, could be a name of creation, massive creation. Allah created like mountain of Qaf or something. And he made an oath by Qaf and the glorious Quran. So Qaf must be something really extremely important to Allah Azza wa Jal, made an oath using it, and telling us that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a warner. He came to warn people about believing in Allah Azza wa Jal and accountability in life after death, and that there will be life after death. So you will see Qaf for Quran al-Majid بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم. So the scholar said Munzir is the answer to the oath. He is a warner from Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah addressed the surprise of the unbelievers that Muhammad is a warner, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that there is life after death. Because they were surprised, how would it be? You as a human, one of us, to become and say you are a messenger from God, and second one to tell us that we will be brought back to life after death. And Allah Azza wa Jal's replies in the surah included that how much they take away from earth. We're passing by and we leave behind all what we get from this life, including our atoms in our body. And in fact that people are confused. They don't know where they came from, they don't know where they're going, and they reject being told by the Creator. And Allah challenged them by asking them to study the heavens, study the earth, study what the rain does, and how Allah will bring life using the rain. So Allah have method and ways to bring things back to life, and want us to study the vegetation and recycling the earth all the time. And that's how we'll be recycled ourselves, brought back to life when His demand or His command ordered the earth to bring up all these dead people. And in that, a proof that He will be brought us back to life. Then Allah Azza wa Jal turned to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and comforting him by listing to him the names of the messengers who were rejected by their people, and how their people dealt with that, how the messengers dealt with the rejection. So it make it easier to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he is not the odd one out, that he will be rejected like other people rejected. This is the way man react to messengers coming from Allah Azza wa Jal, just because he doesn't want to lose things he took in vain, illegally, in a haram way. Want to carry on doing the haram which Allah forbidden. And Allah wouldn't forbidden a haram unless it's bad for him, but he doesn't know it. So the messengers come here to explain to him that's not good for you because it will cause A, B, C, and D. Allah Azza wa Jal, like He said, قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم ذلك أزكى لهم وقل للمؤمنات يغضن من أبصارهن ويحفظن فروجهن. That when you see the opposite sex, you lower your gaze and protect your chastity. With subhanallah, with the coronavirus, when a man faces a woman, he turns his face to the other side, and she turns her face to the other side. Not because they are applying the ayah in the Quran, but they are forced by a small little creature of Allah Azza wa Jal, coronavirus, to avoid face-to-face contact and closeness. So subhanallah, I mean, we always say the Prophet ﷺ didn't shake hands with women when he gave bay'ah to them, the pledges. Now they're saying don't shake hands with anybody. So if you don't do it nicely, Allah will force you to do it with a stick. So virus could be a stick. We don't know. We don't have a prophet to tell us and confirm. So Allah Azza wa Jal comforted the Prophet ﷺ in the surah, and He said to him, challenge them. So which is going to be difficult, the first creation or the second one? It wasn't difficult the first creation to be difficult the next one. So if it was done already, then it could be repeated again and again and again. And we know that when they went to the moon once, it's become easy to go to the moon, the outer space, occupy, and send even shuttles to Mars and other planets. And the shuttles went outside of the solar system and traveling in the space. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, we did not only create man, but we read his mind, and we allocated angels to each one of them to take notes of all what he does or say. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said, you might be interested to know what happened at the time of death and the day of judgment. So He gave you information which is comforting to the believer, but it is a bit worrying to the unbeliever. This is why when they hear about the hell fire, they deny there is God, not to feel the pain. The atheists say we believe in God to to feel comforted that, there's somebody there protecting us. When we die, we go to him. But in fact, the atheists are more afraid of hellfire than us. And many of them came to me and said, "No, if I've been good all my life, why I should go to hellfire?" We said, if you work for British Telecom, you don't go to British Gas and ask for your wage. You go to be rewarded by the one you worked for. So if you believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, you go to Allah to reward you. If you don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, go to the one you believe in. Get him to reward you. If you don't have a God and you worship yourself, okay, save yourself. So it is a very high risk to not believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. And we are comforted because we know in this life there is a helper. There will be a helper and protector next life. The atheists don't have anyone to help in this life but their own ability and skills, and try to get others to help or whatever, and they have no clue what will happen to them after death. And Allah listed here that there will be stupor of death. There will be sakarat al-maut, which is extremely difficult for unbelievers, extremely easy for the believers. The spirit will come out of the body like a drop of water dropping out of a wool, and the spirit of the unbeliever will come out like a spike of metal coming out of a wet wool. He's going to snatch it up with a lot of pain, and they will be led by two angels. The trumpets blown. Each soul will be led by two angels, and when you die, your awareness become unlimited. فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ, Allah said in the surah, that you will have unlimited awareness to life you left, life you're coming to, the angels around you, and the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal, all the warning in front of him. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said in the surah, what will your friend say next life? And then he brought glimpse of the dialogue between you and your friends, especially those who misled you. And will hell be large enough? Allah questioned that, and يقول مجعلنا ما من الملائكة هم ثلاثة فتقول هل من مزيد. So Allah Azza wa Jal, like hellfire, like if she is a creature of its own right, and she is so craving to get the unbelievers and burn them. And good news for the muttaqeen. Muttaqeen, those who remember Allah all the time, thank Allah all the time, obey Allah all the time. So you remember Allah all the time, never forget Him. You thank Allah Azza wa Jal all the time. You never deny His favors on you, and you obey Allah Azza wa Jal, whatever He asks you, you do. So there are three things to become muttaqi. And there's a list of things which you do and titled you to that, give you that title, muttaqi. It's in Surat al-Baqarah, if you want to go and revise it. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said, study the creation of the universe, and Allah will advises Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He gives him a few advices about how to get on with those unbelievers, and he said to him, just listen and watch this space. If they believe or not believe, don't worry about them, because Allah Azza wa Jal is going to go to them and He will sort them out. So just change this letter. So the ayah, the surah goes on with all this information to us, and said to the Prophet ﷺ that a caller will call, the blast sound will take place. Allah will be the one who brings people back to life, because He gives life, He takes lives away, and the earth will split. تشقق الأرض عنهم سراعا, and then they will come out of the earth with the order from Allah Azza wa Jal. But for you, for now, just carry on warning. So the surah has certain unique ayahs which doesn't exist in other parts of the Quran, which is unique in Surat Qaff, which is here, إذا متنا وكنا ترابا ذلك رجع بعيد. And this phrase wasn't used somewhere else. That's the surprise that when we die become ash. you claim that we will come back. There's no way. That's impossible. And Allah said, قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضُ مِنْهُمْ. So we know what they take away from the earth. And we will see when we discuss the meaning in details how you will only keep a small piece of your sacrum bone, which will be used to bring you back to life, the day of judgment, that will never disappear. And Allah Azza wa Jal have everything recorded in a great book, and we will talk about that later. فهم في أمر مريج. The word marij hasn't come in any part of the Quran. فهم في أمر مريج بل كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم. فهم في أمر مريج are really muddled and confused, and they don't know. They just imagine this what will be happening or happened. So this is the problem with the unbelievers. And then Allah said, تَبْصِرَةً وَذِكْرًا لِكُلِّ عَبْدٍ مُنِيبٍ. He spoke about what he gives, and he said all that will be a reminder to every servant who repent and return to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And that doesn't come in another part of the Quran, only came in Surat Qaff. And also نَزَّلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً مُبَارَكًا. So Allah mentioned here about the rain as it's blessed. And ma'an mubarak, and there were a story when a man came to Ali ibn Abi Talib and he said, my son is ill, what do you advise me? And he said to him, is there any money left from the mahar of your wife, the mahar, the marriage gift? He said yes. He said, take some of the money, go and buy honey with it, because the Prophet ﷺ said that's the purest of the money. مَسْتُحِلَّتْ بِهِ الْفُرُوجِ. The purest of the money, أطهر المال. The money you gave to allow your father-in-law to allow you to marry his daughter and you sleep with her. So the gift, the marriage gift, the mahar, that's the purest of the pure of the money. So take a bit of that money and go and buy honey with it, because Allah said, فِيهِ شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ. Mix it with fresh rain water, because there's blessing in it, ma'an mubarakan, and give it to your son, and inshallah will be cured. And he was. وَحَبَّ الْحَصِيدُ also. حَبَّ الْحَصِيدُ will come later, which is also came in Surat Qaff, which means the farmers will be quite happy and pleased to collect their crops in the time of harvest, and collect all these seeds which they store and they eat later and buy or whatever. So something that would really have value, long-term value. So that's حَبَّ الْحَصِيدُ. وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتِ is also only in Surat Qaff. لَهَا طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ. طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ is accumulated on top of each other. Will come later, inshallah, the meaning. Allah questioned, أَفَعَيِّينَا فِي الْخَلْقِ الْأَوَّلِ. This أَفَعَيِّينَا is not anywhere in the Quran, but in Surah Qaff. بَلْ هُمْ فِي لَبْسٍ مِنْ خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. Or they're muddled about, worried or confused, and can we bring the new creation or not? This is only in Surah Qaff, and scholars of Aqidah use it, how Allah knows all your thoughts, and He is closer to you than your jugular vein. Now the best meaning explanation I found is in Al-Qurtubi, when he said it's not talking about a distance. First, you don't know Allah Azza wa Jalla, what Allah is. You cannot give Allah Azza wa Jalla a body, so He's close to me or far away from me. And you can't say, because if you give Him a body, you limit Allah Azza wa Jalla to a space. So you make the universe bigger than Allah Azza wa Jalla, and that's haram. Allah was there, and Allah created the throne, created the heavens, and created the kursi, and created the earth. So take the universe away, it's only Allah there. Allah created the space and the time. When He created the space and the things start moving, the time start kicking, the time start clicking. So and Allah Azza wa Jalla is not difficult for Him to be too close to you. But if you think about Allah as a body, you will have difficulty understanding, and you will be belittling Allah Azza wa Jalla and degrading Allah, which is haram. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, "Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la," the highest. Now again, the highest, you cannot measure it in distance. You can't say Allah is million, trillion, zillion miles away from us. You can't say that, simply because you don't know what Allah is. And Allah is not in a body move. He travels. So he is, when they say وَجَاءَ رَبُّكَ وَالْمَلَكُ صَفًّا صَفًّا, doesn't mean that Allah wasn't here to come, but that's give you the impression Allah has come. Like you say, the police has come, the law has arrived to put you, stop your, aggression, whatever. It doesn't mean that there is a law in a body or a shape, but Allah is a person, and you cannot say Allah Azza wa Jalla is just a power or something. No, Allah Azza wa Jalla is a person, but Allah is that. The essence of Allah Azza wa Jalla is totally different than whatever comes to our mind. Allah Azza wa Jalla is the creator, and we are not. And He is the one who makes things because He has that quality, being God. We are not God. So this ayah is extremely important to know. We will come across it again when we talk about the meaning in details. Another one which is unique to Surat Qaff is يَتَلَقَّى الْمُتَلَقِّيَانِ عَنِ الْيَمِينِ وَعَنِ الشَّمَالِ قَعِيدٌ. They're sitting there and reading and receiving all what you do in order to say. وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ, according سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ, also only in Surat Qaff, which you were avoiding. وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ ذَلِكَ يَوْمُ الْوَعِيدِ. يَوْمُ الْوَعِيدِ is the name of the day of judgment, only mentioned in Surat Qaff. يَوْمُ الْوَعِيدِ. وَجَاءَتْ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَعَهَا سَائِقٌ وَشَهِيدٌ. Again also came only in Surat Qaff that you have someone who is driving you, leading you, and someone who is witnessing. لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد. فبصرك اليوم حديد is only in Surah Qaff that you have unlimited vision after you die. بصرك الحديد غير محدود means not حديد from the iron, حديد from غير محدود, unlimited. القيا في جهنم كل كفار عنيد. Throw in hellfire every stubborn unbeliever. Again we said يوم نقول لجهنم هل امتلأت is what Allah Azza wa Jalla asks Jahannam, are you full? And Jahannam will say, is there any more? Again, من خشي الرحمن بالغيب وجاء بقلب منيب, that you come with a repenting heart or sound heart. We'll come to the full meaning inshallah. We're only in Surah Al-Qaff, and again here وكم أهلكنا قبلهم من قرن هم أشد منا بطشا فانقبوا في البلاد هل من محيص, that go and search throughout the earth and find out have they had any escape. It's like the coronavirus now. Where is the escape? You shut everything, put everybody in his house, you put a face mask on everybody, you spread them apart, and you're not sure that you are avoiding the virus. Will the virus wake up again? Problem in America now, in Texas, that has woken up again. So it could be second coming or third coming, we don't know. But where will you go? They were very keen not to take the coronavirus to the space station last 2 weeks ago when the space shuttle went, because they don't want to infect people over there and they all die, they can't come back. إن في ذلك لذكرى من كان له قلب أو ألقى السمع وهو شهيد كان له قلب. All of us have hearts, but have you got the heart and the essence of you who understand what Allah is talking about, and you follow it and you find it beneficial to you, and you give the hearing ear, you really listen and try to understand and witness to what you have listened to. That's only in Surah Qaff. ومن الليل فسبحه وأدبار السجود, that's only came and Surat Qaff. We'll come to the meaning later inshallah, which is saying us that specific prayers and specific time. Day of Judgment يوم يسمعون الصيحة بالحق ذلك يوم الخروج, that's another name of Day of Judgment, يوم الخروج, the day of coming out from the graves. And because منها خلقناكم وفيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجكم تارة أخرى, from earth Allah created us, to earth Allah will return us, and from earth Allah will bring us back to life. So when we come out of another ayah in Surat Qaff, نحن أعلم بما يقولون وما أنت عليهم بجبار فذكر بالقرآن من يخاف وعيد. من يخاف وعيد also, it's only in Surat Qaff. فذكر بالقرآن, the one who afraid of the threatening information. وعيد. There's wa'id, which is good news, and wa'id, which is the bad news. Wa'id is a threat. Now if we go back to the surah, inshallah, which is Surat Qaff again, and we're going to start from the beginning, inshallah, ayah number 1, and then we will go switch between here and the word to talk about meanings as well. Qaff, as I said, is Allah knows what that means. Could be the mountain called Qaff, or could be name of the Quran, could be name of Allah, could be something else, we don't know. Or could be just the Arabic letter Qaff. When the Prophet ﷺ never knew his alphabet, he came and was talking about the name of the letters. There's letters who are mabna, haruf mabna, wa haruf ma'na. Haruf al-mabna, the letters you build words using them. They have no meaning by themselves, but they are used to build words. There's haruf al-ma'na, some letters have a meaning by themselves, like sin, you use it to say sa aktubu. Lam, you use it to milkiya lahu, kitabuhu. The ha dhamir here, you use it as well to say that his kitab. Wal Quran al-Majid, the glorious Quran, mumajjad, held in high status, noble Quran, very, very well respected and admired and followed and held in beautiful places, in houses and things, and we always, when we were children, when we take the Quran, we kiss the Quran and then start reading it, and we don't read the Quran unless we have wudu. So it's Majid, it's held in high honor and high respect. بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب. The way the Quran addressed things, he's chop away things you don't need to know the meaning. So Allah Azza wa Jal sent a mundhir, a warner, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and Allah Azza wa Jal saying why they are surprised that they have a warner from among themselves. He addressed it in another part of the Quran. If he sent an angel, he will have to come in a man shape, and then they will be back to square one. How would they know if he's an angel or a man? When Jibreel came to the Prophet ﷺ, he always came in the shape of a man. He only saw him twice in angelic form or behavior. In the Mi'raj, when he saw him in his full size with 600 wings. And فَقَالَ الْكَافِرُونَ هَذَا شَيْءٌ عَجِيبٌ. This is, it's not the wonderful things in a way. It's more ajib, they are surprised or astonished or unexpected things to happen, that they get a man to warn them from Allah Azza wa Jal. Obviously that's mentality because they want to deny the messenger. Allah Azza wa Jal, he said وما كان لبشر أن يكلمه الله إلا وحيا أو من وراء حجاب أو يرسل رسولا. A human will not be talked to but through revelation or behind a veil or send a messenger. Allah Azza wa Jal, you don't keep Allah behind a veil, but you cannot see Allah Azza wa Jal. There's a veil on you, your ability to see Allah Azza wa Jal. Like Musa, when he asked Allah Azza wa Jal to make him see him, make me, arini anzur ilayk, make me able to see you, to look at you. Because Musa acknowledged Allah is visible, but I am unable to see because a veil protect me, because there's ability I don't have. Those who cannot read, that could be like a barrier between them and the letters. The letters there, but they can't figure out what it means. They see it, but make no meaning. If you give £50 note to a toddler who's 6 months old, he'll just take it, put it in his mouth. He wouldn't know the meaning. Also, he's seeing it, he's touching it, he's carrying it. So, أَإِذَا مِتْنَا, where the surprise, أَإِذَا مِتْنَا وَكُنَّا تُرَابًا ذَلِكَ رَجْعٌ بَعِيدٌ. That you're telling us that we will come back to Allah Azza wa Jal, we'll become brought back to life, we will be assembled again after we become dust. This is impossible. This is not going to happen. It's extremely unlikely. So they look into the way they can do things. They don't look into ways and things Allah can do, because the first cell was created by Allah Azza wa Jal, and He didn't need to grow the cell somewhere. He didn't need to bring the raw materials, ribosomes and DNA and RNA and the cytoplasm and mitochondria and the membrane, and he didn't know. He didn't need to go. He didn't import from China some mitochondria, from America some RNA, from Scotland DNA. No, Allah just, it's an order, be, and it is. إنما أمرنا إذا أردنا شيئا نقول له كن فيكون. It's the order of Allah. The way if He wants to create anything, He will say to it, be, and it is. It appear complete. But our mentality, this is why we should always think about Allah Azza wa Jal, the Creator, and He is different than us. What we cannot do doesn't mean Allah cannot do. That's what we can do doesn't mean Allah Azza wa Jal is unable to stop us. Allah has ways to stop us. Allah can straight away take your concentration, your intention, your awareness, your eyesight, and stop you doing things. A man came, the Prophet ﷺ saw a man eating with his left hand, and the Prophet ﷺ said to him, eat with your right hand. He said, I can't. He was lying to the Prophet. The Prophet ﷺ said to him, La stata'at. And he couldn't raise his right arm anymore. He said he can't eat with his right hand, that's something. And he was lying to the Prophet. So you can't lie to Allah Azza wa Jal. Immediately made it paralyzed, couldn't raise it anymore. قَدْ عَلِمْنَا. So if you can't, if you are finding it difficult that you will be brought back to life when you are dust, Allah Azza wa Jal said, we know. And there's a lot of meaning in the Tafsir about قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضُ مِنْهُمْ. If we go to the words, and Marij Amra Munkar. قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضُ مِنْهُمْ. I didn't bring it. And he speak about you took parts from the earth and it's yours, or you like the earth lost the land from the unbelievers to the believers, and or the earth they took away something from the earth, which is where is it? You can't take away anything from this universe with you, because we all go back to earth, even if you take the money with you. And it's like this guy who said to his wife that when he dies, she should, it's a joke, it's not actually a story, she should put all his gold with him in the grave. So all his money to be put with him in the grave, and not to spend anything from it. So she promised him she will do that. And when he died, people came to her and asked her, have you actually left his money with him in the grave? She said, no, I put the money in the bank. I wrote him a check. So when he wake up the next life, he will cash the check from the bank. You're not going to take anything with you to the grave. The only thing the earth will be missing from you will be like the atoms which form the small part of your sacrum bone, the end of your back, which the Prophet ﷺ said that will be left intact will not be burned, will not be eaten, will not disintegrate. And from that piece you will be brought back to life. So that's what's the earth missing, that bit of you, which Allah will bring you back from that bit, multiply it, and you back the day of judgment. وَعِنْدَنَا كِتَابٌ حَفِيظٌ. We have a book which contains everything. It's the book, whether it is the Lawh al-Mahfuz, or whether it is whether it's a record of the angels who were writing everything which you say or not say. So بل كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم فهم في أمر مريج. They denied the truth which came, denied the Prophet ﷺ, denied the Quran when it came to them, and they are in a state of confusion, state of muddleness. It's they are really lost in what is happening. فهم في أمر مريج. مريج is الأمر المنكر, the things which you disagree with, dislike, or you find it troubling to you, or muddling, like Ibn Abi Ata said, marij mukhtalat, muddled. So فهم في أمر مريج, they are in a muddle, what's happening. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, like we said, He starts challenging them. See the creation, see what I've done, and from what I have done, I mean, if somebody comes to you and say, Mercedes have, it's a great company, they can make cars and things, and the car have this facility and that facility, you might accept or not, but they said, try it. Test to drive, it will arrange for you to try a car, and the salesman will sit next to you and he will show you how great the car is. The same when you're buying a BMW or a Mazda or Ferrari or whatever. Some cars that wouldn't allow you to drive out because it's so strong and powerful car. If you drive a Ferrari and you press the button and you will hit quite a few people. We have a guy here, a young man, when he passed his test and he was 18, his father had bought him a performance car, I think it was Bentley or something similar, and he drove it in fast speed and hit two women and killed them. He ended in prison. So Allah said, check my creation, look into heaven above you, how we structured it and decorated it, and there's no gaps in there, there's no split. That makes us wonder, because the scientists, after a lot of discovery, they say there must be the universe contains 5% the visible universe to us, 95% is invisible universe to us, and 2/3 of it dark matter, 1/3 is dark energy. So they're saying there is dark matter, there's something in the universe we cannot see. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْحُبُكِ, like if the heaven is waved together. So it's not like, an empty space, which Allah Azza wa Jalla enlarging. وَالسَّمَاءُ بَنَيْنَاهَا وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ, Allah enlarging the universe in a speed 180% the speed of light, which people became puzzled how the universe object can move higher than the speed of light, and they thought the speed of light is the infinite speed, they can't go higher speed than the speed of light. Then they came to accept, and there's hidden energy, dark energy, which is stretching the universe. They just don't want to say Allah. They don't want to admit Allah Azza wa Jal is stretching the universe, because He said it. وَالسَّمَاءُ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. With mighty hand we build the heavens and we will enlarge it. So it's Allah Azza wa Jal enlarging it, as He already said it. So مَا لَهَا مِن فُرُوجٍ, there's no gap, there's no split, there's nothing there which is make it shaky or and amazing. The movement of the planets and around the stars, and the movement of the stars within the galaxies, and the movement of loose objects. And what puzzled people is just the movement of comets, and this big ice moving, or big things, and coming from somewhere, going somewhere, not affected by the gravity of the sun, and doesn't become like a planet around the sun. وَالْأَرْضَ مَدَدْنَاهَا وَأَلْقَيْنَا فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ. مَدَدْنَاهَا means we stretched it. So there's no end to the earth. If no end to the earth means that the earth is round. Because the earth, if it was flat, you will reach an end to the earth when you fall. And it doesn't happen because it's وَالْأَرْضَ مَدَدْنَاهَا in front of you. And this is what Christopher Columbus and others discovered, that when they left this point and moved to the west, they found him back in the east. So you can't go from the west to the east unless it is round. So وَأَلْقَيْنَا فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ. Rawasi here is something to keep it in place. And obviously it's difficult for us to understand exactly what Allah meant, but it's known to geologists and earth scientists that the crust of the earth is very thin layer on top of a liquid inside. When volcanoes erupt, it's liquid lava comes out. Like it's underneath us is liquid melted rocks and stones. So we are on a liquid. Whenever there is slight movement in the liquid underneath, the crust will move and cause earthquake. So earthquake and volcanoes show that it's liquid inside. So what will make the earth fixed, not float and start moving like if it's an object on the water, is probably the mountains, which Allah made fixed high in space. Also, they think these mountains stop the air circulating in high speed. Because the air sometimes up, when you go to the atmosphere, you find air is moving 100, 200 miles an hour, 300 miles an hour. When they went to the outer space, to the solar system, one of the planets, they found that the air moving with 4,000 miles an hour, because they haven't got any mountains there. So it seems that the mountains stop the air moving in picking up speed and become very fast. وَأَلْقَيْنَا فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَأَنْبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ كُلِّ زَوْجٍ بَهِيجٍ. We brought back out of earth plants which is a comfort to the eye. Subhanallah, we've been buying flowers once a week or once every 10 days. And every time I buy a different flower, and you look at it, it's really nice to look at the flowers. I really, if you can afford it, and just spend some money on buying flowers. We actually took the habit from my daughter-in-law. When she came, we found that she has this nice habit. Always she likes to have flowers in the house. Her family's house full of flowers everywhere. So what I found that no matter what flower you bring, it's really nice. But obviously, it will become old and need to bring a new flower. Unless you have a nice garden and the gardener who will plant always new. So Allah has to bring out of land all these plants, which is beautiful to look at, beautiful to see. When I was teenager, I used to take my book and go and read in the countryside with the trees flowering everywhere. The smell is nice, the view is nice, the birds is singing, and I'm enjoying the reading in the countryside. And I walk and walk and walk, and then come back home. Done two. One of them is reading, revising my books, and the second one admiring the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is Tafsiratan wa dhikra, enlightening and reminding those slaves who are returning back to Allah. لِكُلِّ عَبْدٍ مُنِيبٍ. Munib is raja' ila Allah, going back to Allah Azza wa Jal. He always think about the mighty of Allah Azza wa Jal. So this is when you look into His creation. Now, a Muslim will look into the creation and say, Subhanallah. A Kafir will look into the creation and either he doesn't get any impression or doesn't look at it, doesn't think about it, or he said nature. If nature able to make such a design and create things and remove things and polish things and teach things, then we say he's talking about Allah. Nature and Allah is the same. So Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who is doing all this with a lot of planning and design and wisdom and intelligence. تذكرة وذكرى لكل عبد منيب. And وَنَزَّلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً مُبَارَكًا. That's what I said earlier. مَاءً مُبَارَكًا. Water come from heaven, blessed from Allah Azza wa Jal. And barakah hit whoever Allah wanted. So a rain could come and destroy the flowering of a farm and destroy his crops, and a rain could come to another farm and it's in the right time and flourish his plants and increase his production. So the same water blessed for somebody, it's a misery to somebody else. فأنبتنا فيه جنات وحب الحصيد. Jannat with all sort of trees which cover you. You can't, if you go inside like jungles and things, which is all the trees everywhere, you're hidden. Jannah al-laylu, when the lights cover you up, you can't be seen. Jinni, because you don't see the jinni, it's hidden from you. Majnoon, his mind is hidden, he's not somewhere else, he's not talking in the right mind. وحب الحصيد. حب الحصيد, as we said earlier, that it's the crops which the farmer enjoy collecting the end of the year and store, because that's really nice when you have a large amount of crops coming, when you collect it and you can store it in these bags and storage and things. وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتٍ, you look into the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, the palm trees which is tall in heaven. And subhanAllah, I mean, I was listening to Imam Sha'rawi talking about Nakhil, that you see trees, high winds come and unroot big trees with the root, but you see palm trees stay intact. They don't get destroyed. They might bend. Sometimes you see the palm tree is so bent, but wouldn't come off the land. باسقات, stretch in the air. لها طلع نضيد, have a lot of fruit hidden in a bucket, and then the bucket open, and then you get the dates out. And nadid, munaddad, it's on top of each other. I mean, I've been looking into a bunch of grapes the other day, and they're so squeezed together that the shape became not round, it became like square, because so many pieces of grapes jammed in one space, small space, especially inside the grape. And rizqa lil-ibad, it's a rizq lil-ibad, it's a sustenance for people. Obviously, they could be used as food, could be use it as energy, could be use it as food the animals, could be take oil out of it, could have all sorts of rizq out of the land for nothing. The water comes from heaven, from Allah Azza wa Jal. The photons come from the sky, from the sun Allah created, and carbohydrate formed, or oil formed in olive trees and similar. Corn, you get corn oil, you get sunflower oil, you get وأحيينا به بلدة ميتة كذلك الخروج. So the rain, Allah revive dead land, dead towns and villages, and dead people. They were about to die from starvation, and Allah will give them the food, and they survive again. Now the problem we have in the West, that there is a massive reduction in insects who transfer the pollens from male plants to female plants and produce the crops. Now there's no bees, not enough insects to carry this pollen and do the pollinization. We have loss of crops. We will soon be short of important food. There were swarms and swarms of locusts traveled from Africa to Asia and to India, and eating everything, the green and the dry, just take everything. So man is unable to collect anything because eaten by these billions and billions of locusts. رزقا للعباد وكذلك الخروج. So Allah bring them from the ground, the plants, and you see it. It was like a dead land. Rain comes, everything comes out. If you go and try to find where it came from, you might or might not find the seeds. There were film showed us a new island appeared in the middle of the ocean through a volcano, and they left it for 10 years. They came back after 10 years. It's fully colonized by animals and plants and all sorts of things, and birds seem to carry all sorts of seeds and fertilization and all sorts of things came to life and became like a living island. كذلك الخروج, day of judgment, we will come out of the ground like the plants coming out of the ground and facing Allah Azza wa Jal. And then Allah Azza wa Jal turned to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saying that you are not the odd one out. The people who denied Nuh, rejected Ashab al-Ras. Ashab al-Ras are actually people of the well, which is Allah mentioned in Antakya, the well of Antakya, when it's in Surat Yasin, when the guy came, came and tried to advise them to follow the messengers, the three messengers. His name Habib al-Najjar, and they killed him. So Ashab al-Ras, the people of that well in Antakya, how they denied the messenger, and Ashab al-Rathi were Samud. So they rejected Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but there are also other prophets being rejected. قوم كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح وأصحاب الرس وثمود and وعاد, the people of Salih, وفرعون, he rejected Musa, وإخوان لوط, rejected Lut عليه الصلاة والسلام, وأصحاب الأيكة, أصحاب الأيكة are people of Shu'aib. So they rejected the prophets, and أصحاب الأيكة قوم شعيب. وقوم تبع al-Humayri is from Yemen. He's As'ad ibn Abu Bakr. He's quite a pious person, righteous person, but his people did not follow his teaching, did not follow his footstep, and they kept copying each other. Tabi'. Everybody followed the other one, blindly. قوم تبع. And Allah didn't criticize al-Humayri, As'ad Abu Karb. So all these messengers were rejected and denied, and Allah comforting the Prophet ﷺ. And then he's saying to him, don't worry, tell them, was it difficult for us to create the first creation? I mean, now they have been working on artificial intelligence for around 40 years, 50 years, when the first computer started in the 1950s and 60s, until now. They couldn't trust a computer to run a car. They couldn't trust a computer to run a drone. You have to be always controlling a movement and deal with the unexpected things. So, do they think it was difficult for us to create the first time? No. It was easy for Allah to create, and it is there in front of you, and in billions and zillions of numbers of creation. The creation of Allah is just uncounted. And that's on planet Earth only. If you go to outer space, there's a sun, the diameter of the sun is like between us and our sun. The diameter is 93 million miles. If you take a plane, a jet plane, and try to move around that sun once, it will take you 1,200 years to finish one circle, while Earth itself is just 40,000 kilometers. You can't finish it in jet, the shuttle finish it every 18 minutes. And then Allah Azza wa Jal saying, do they think it's going to be difficult for us to recreate? The model that have confusion, they don't know how it's going to happen. So Allah Azza wa Jal is saying no. أفعينا بالخلق الأول بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد ولقد خلقنا الإنسان ونعلم ما توسوس به نفسه ونحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد. Verily, we created man and we know what thoughts go through his mind, what he is telling himself to do or not to do, believe or not to believe. And we are closer to him than his own jugular vein. Now, people who want to put Allah Azza wa Jalla in a body, they will have difficulty with this ayah. Oh, they say, oh, you think Allah inside us and Allah is inside our room, inside our toilet. It's haram to say even that Allah has a body because you're limiting Allah in a space and time. Because He needs time to go from A to B. Allah Azza wa Jalla unknown to us, although He tells us about Him having eyes and hands and He talk and He sees and He have wisdom and He have knowledge, but you don't project from your existence into Allah Azza wa Jalla. That's a problem with the Christian. They put Allah Azza wa Jalla in the shape of a man, an old man with a big beard, and that's a problem because the Hindu have that, the incarnation. They want to say that God came through animals. The cow is God, the sea is God, the tree is God. The Alexander, he only accepted Christianity if they agree that God came in the body of Jesus. He says there's only one incarnation, God came through the body of Jesus. They just have difficulty accepting God is something different than us. Everything come to your mind about Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah is different. ما خطر ببالك الله خلاف ذلك. You cannot yourself understand that Allah, the essence of Allah Azza wa Jalla, what Allah is, and what Allah told us, we take it as He said it. We leave it to tafweed. Allah knows what He meant by being closer to us in our jugular vein, but do not deny Allah Azza wa Jalla's ability to be next to you. But don't think of a distant next, and don't think of a body next. Allah knows what He's talking about, and we'll leave it to Allah. But He is reading your mind all the time. What you speak or do will be spotted by the angels, but your sincerity and what goes in your mind is known to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And Allah will judge you for that and punish you or reward you. إذ يتلقى المتلقيان عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد. They receive what you say, what you do. المتلقيان, the two angels on the right and on the left, and they're ready, sitting there all the time, and whatever you say will be taken in evidence. When you get arrested by the police, they say you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say will be taken in an evidence against you, so keep quiet. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحانك. We will come back inshallah next week to carry on with the meaning of Surat Qaff. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم اجعل اجتماعنا هذا اجتماعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما. May Allah make our meeting blessed and protect us after leaving here. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر والحمد لله رب العالمين. Please share this lecture by whoever you like, and you will be rewarded inshallah. And if there's any problem with anything I said, just correct me and send me a text message or tell me from the messenger as well.